Mm, uh, Shilpa,
Yes, yes.
can you give me the course rights?
Okay. I'm making you the host, or I should make you the co-host.
Course will do.
Okay.
Shilpa ji, I also need the sharing rights for timer report and timer card.
I've made it accessible for all. Okay, Shalu, I gave you the co-host access. You can share. I am too. I gave you the co-host access too.
Sure. Good evening, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests present in this lovely afternoon. We have a very cozy feeling right now, but this is going to change for the next hour and a half. We are in for a different setup this time. This is the mock evaluation contest. Yes, I, Ananshu Goswami, as Sergeant at Arms, welcome you to the 79th meeting of VirtuoMasters Club. A very a warm applause to start the meeting. I would request everyone. Yes. Now, as you all know, there are a few rules that we need to follow in a Toastmasters meeting. First up, please keep yourself on mute until and unless you are required to speak. Second, when a speaker is speaking, try to give that person some motivation through your video in on mode. That gives the speaker a lot more confidence. And third, at Toastmasters, we don't talk about sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. Hence, I would request everyone to refrain from using these things in such a manner. Now that we are all set for this meeting, we are into the business end. For that, I would be calling someone we all know in the Toastmasters fraternity. She is a very new, distinguished Toastmaster. She has been distinguished for a long, long time. It's just the title that has been added recently. She is someone we all love and we all adore her to the till. Let's put your hands together to welcome the president of VirtuoMasters Club, the distinguished Toastmaster, Panna Rashmi Ray. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Let's keep it going for our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ananshu Goswami. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Ananshu. I love you too. Good evening and welcome to the mock contest, mock evaluation contest of VirtuoMasters Club. This is a fantastic platform for all newcomers and also seasoned Toastmasters to learn the difficult skill of evaluation. It is said that most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. In evaluation, that is what we learn, how to listen properly. Then, how to give feedback in such a motivating manner that the person who we are giving feedback to is happy to accept whatever we recommend. That is the reasoning behind our mock contest today. I see we have a guest in our meeting, and I would like to request him to come onto the camera and introduce himself. Raja Virendra. So Raja Virendra, please, Mahapatra, please come onto the virtual podium and introduce yourself.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Raja Virendra Mahapatra. I'm a BBA graduate.
Yes.
So
How did you come to know about VirtuoMasters and Toastmasters interview?
From my brother-in-law and my sister. They are in Toastmasters, so they suggested me to join the Toastmasters to gain my professional skills like communication skills, spoken English, presentation, and etc.
Thank you for joining us, guest Raja. The
I'm
thing is,
glad.
yes, today we are having a one-off session. It's a little different than a normal Toastmaster session. In a normal Toastmaster session, we have prepared speeches, we have impromptu speeches, that is the table topic session, and then we have evaluation of the prepared speech.
Okay.
Today we are actually preparing for a contest that is coming up later in the year. So we are having a mock contest to prepare our club members for the contest. Okay, please be with us and enjoy the session. And I would like to invite you all and invite you to our next session on the next Saturday, so you can see what a normal session is. Okay, yes, Raja, please be with us. Thank you so much. So that was the guest who's here with us, and I hope she really enjoys. To take our session forward, since we have a little different section, we don't have a Toastmaster of the day, we have a contest chair today. And the contest chair today is someone who I absolutely admire and adore. He is a very, very affectionate person. He knows how to give. That is something, you know, that does not come very natural to everybody, but he is a very natural giver. He knows how to give, and his arms are always open wide to accept. Giving and accepting is such beautiful characteristic in a human being, and that is what our Toastmaster of the day is all about. With that, I would like to introduce and call upon to the stage our Toastmaster of the day today, contest chair, Toastmaster Sheetal Kumar. Over to you, Toastmaster contest chair.
Please keep the applause going for our wonderful president, distinguished Toastmaster Panna Rasmi Ray. And when I say that, I feel elated as much as she does, because she is really a gem and she has made all of us proud by becoming a distinguished Toastmaster, a distinguished lady, and a distinguished person at heart. I really love her to the core, and I don't have other words to explain that. Now let's quickly welcome ourselves to the mock evaluation contest. I'll be giving you the rules, but before that, we should know that we have a chief judge who will be looking after the evaluations, and then she'll be marking the ballot and also giving her points of evaluation. Is it the way, ma'am, we are going to do it? You are going to give evaluations as well?
I will not be marking ballots because we don't have a winner over here. We're not doing a winner. So I'll be giving feedback to all the contestants.
Okay, that's great. So our chief judge would be giving evaluations to everyone who would be evaluating. So that is going to be the order of the day. In a normal evaluation contest, the purpose of the contest is for us to understand what is the benefit of participating in a contest and become a better orator and a better public speaker. And at the same time, for an evaluation contest, our purpose is to become a better listener, as totally explained by our president and chief judge. So that is what we are going to do. We are going to hear a test speech that would be of 5 to 7 minutes, and then you will be given a time period of 5 minutes for writing your notes that you can refer at the time of giving your evaluations. In a contest, there is a numbering by draw of lots. I have not done this for this mock evaluation because I wanted to keep it simple so that the least experienced gets to hear the most of the evaluation. So that is in the order that I and Chris decided on the basis of experience people have, so that they get proper exposure to the evaluations that they are going to do. We will be sending the contestants to the breakout room and bringing in one by one so that there can be no copying. Only we can learn after we have delivered our evaluations. That is the reason that we are going to do it. I have already given the order of the evaluations that is given in the chat box, but still I'll repeat for the Madam Chief just to mark that the first contestant is Toastmaster Abhijit. The second contestant is Toastmaster Rima. The third contestant is Toastmaster Manisha. The fourth contestant is Toastmaster Kshitiz. The fifth contestant is Toastmaster Shraddha. The sixth contestant is Toastmaster Ayush. The seventh contestant is Toastmaster Sumit. The eighth contestant is Toastmaster Silpa. The ninth contestant is Toastmaster Amrish. And the 10th contestant is Toastmaster Anurag. Techmaster, can you check whether the contestants are all available over here?
Yes, they are available.
Okay. So,
1 minute, 1 minute. I don't see Amrish.
yes, I don't see Amrish. That is what I wanted to see. Actually, I am on the speaker view.
Amrish
just-
said that he will get late because he is somewhere outside.
In that case, because we will, once we start test speaker, then it won't be fair for him to not hear the entire speech and evaluate. So if Ayanshu, if you could get in touch with him to come as go on with the general rules of the contest. Meanwhile, you can please contact him so that he can be here, because this is a mock evaluation contest. In an ideal evaluation contest, we would have locked the room, so no further admissions and all. So that is one thing that you need to understand. We have to be on time. This is just a practice. So we'll be a bit liberal, but that does not mean that we are not going to follow the rules of the contest. Once the test speaker starts, we should not allow any other contestant to come in and evaluate. So that would be the general rule. The other thing is that between one evaluation and the second evaluation, there will be 1 minute silence for the Madam Chief Judge to just take her evaluation so that she can give feedback, right? Or would you be doing that impromptu, ma'am? In this case, would you be doing that impromptu?
No, no need for that 1 minute. Actually, you can give just for 30 seconds because I'll be noting down when they're speaking, and I'll give all together at the end.
Okay, that's good. So that would be the order of the day. We'll be having 30 seconds just for the audio video check, and then we'll start with the second evaluation, and the tech master can use that time for bringing in the second contestant at that time. So with that, I think you must have understood the rules. The rules are pretty simple. We will have a test speaker who will deliver a speech for 5 to 7 minutes. The evaluation has to be done for a time period of 1 to 3 minutes. The lower limit being, 2 to 3 minutes. I apologize. 2 to 3 minutes. And there will be a grace period of 30 seconds, both on the upper side and the lower side. So 130 on the lower side and 330 on the upper side to qualify. At 2 minutes, timer will show green card. At 2:30, yellow card. At 3, red card, and she will continue on flashing. There will be no signal for completion of excess time. So please keep that in mind as well, that there is no special signal for your completion of time. Or if Madam permits, we can stop, mute the person so that we don't have that extra time going in if ma'am permits that. So, okay, so that's fine. So we would not be unmuting, we won't be muting them. So they would be continuing, but they would be disqualified as per the norms. Between the speeches, there will be 30 seconds transition period to check audio and visuals. At the same time, persons would be brought from the breakout room to main room. At the starting, you will be given 5 minutes for the evaluation. You can use your white sheet that you need to show, and your background. Your background should not be there. Ideally, Silpa and all those others, you don't need to have a background because we need to see that you are not using any additional things. So there should be no background, ideally. That is the rule of the contest as well. And you need to show your white paper as well before we start the tech master. Can you help me with that? Everyone, please show your white sheet that you'll be using for your evaluations. Rima, Shraddha, please show your white sheet so that. Okay. Ayush, Ayanshu, please help me with that. Manisha.
Ideally, we should have a white sheet, but because this is a mock contest, so we have a whole diary.
And
So
not a
we will
problem.
not
It
be
should be a
able to
white paper
fold.
ideally. That is what I'm saying. They won't allow you a diary at the time of contest. At this time we are giving that liberty, but not in the contest. You won't be having any diaries and all.
Actually,
So we won't be able to hold it and hold it.
we need to follow what is going to be there in the actual contest, right? That is the
Yes.
purpose.
So please,
better
Shilpa,
you
if you
take out a
could,
page from your
yes,
diary, because at one, when you 5 minutes are over, you have to fold your paper like this and
yes,
keep it visible like this. Your hands have
so
to be
that
like
hands
this.
are visible.
Okay.
And you can refer only at the time of giving your evaluations. In that one, in the transition time, you can refer to your notes, and all that while in the breakout room you need to sit like this. So that is also again a challenge that we need to prepare. So that is very tiring in contest. We need
Everyone
to
is requested. Toastmaster Sumit, you need to keep your camera on all the time. So
yes,
everyone is requested to take a sheet out of the diary and use it. Sheet. No using the diary. A sheet. Yes.
yes, a seat. Okay.
Anurag, you too. A sheet. Okay.
So if the rules are clear, are we good to? I still don't see Amrish here. So
Shilpa has something to ask. Yes.
I had a talk with Amrish ji. He is 10 minutes away. So if we don't have time, we can start. He will join in as an observer only.
Okay, then I think we should not wait for him. Ideally, we should start the meeting.
Shilpa
And
still has a question.
yes, Silpa, please go ahead.
I want to know if the co-hosts have the access to create the breakout room, because if not, then I'll give my host access to anyone.
Co-host generally does not have the breakout room access.
I have breakout room access.
Okay, you are the co-host.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you can have breakout, Ayanshu, you should have the breakout room ideally.
Yeah, I should be doing it.
Yes, Ayanshu, you should have the breakout room.
Yes, I have a breakout room access.
Okay, so after the test speech, after a time period of 5 minutes for evaluation, everyone will be shifted to breakout room, and then I'll call upon every contestant one by one. That is how we are going to do it. And now I would like to introduce to you the surprise speaker for the day. We were supposed to have Toastmaster Ayanshu, but with huge thanks to him that we wanted to keep it a mock for all of you. So we have a surprise speaker for you. She is a beautiful storyteller, a passionate writer, and a wonderful Toastmaster. She is someone I have been knowing her ever since she became a Toastmaster, and she has a penchant to become better every time she performs. And she comes back to me every time she wants to learn, not just about speeches, not just about leadership, even towards anything that she wants to do better in her life. So that's the beautiful relation that we share. We are mentor and mentee. So today's test speaker is Toastmaster Debolina Dhar, who is going to deliver her speech. I'll be giving the details of her speech. Before that, are the contestants ready? Come on, at least unmute yourself and say you are ready.
Yes, we are.
Yes, indeed, we are.
Yes, we are ready.
Do I have the permission of Madam Chief just to continue the contest?
Yes, please start. Best of luck to everyone.
Okay, thank you. With that, I would like to welcome our test speaker for the day, Toastmaster Debolina Dhar, with her speech titled The Invisible Heroes. Toastmaster Debolina Dhar, The Invisible Heroes. The Invisible Heroes, Toastmaster Debolina Dhar.
Thank you, Contest Chair. Before starting my speech, there is a background noise happening. So please bear with me. You have to listen to it. Now, I would like to ask you a question. How many of you are fiction lovers? Can I have a raise of hands? Come on. Yes, I can see few have raised their hands. You must have heard about Superman, right? He wears a cape and knows how to fly. And whenever he flies, his cape flies with him as well. But for some reason, he would never wear his under his pants. If you ask Superman, Superman be like, I don't know, man. My mother never taught me about that. I guess it is because he's the real life hero. And anything can happen in reels. But he's not the real hero. Because real heroes don't wear capes. They teach. They teach you life lessons. And they shape your life in a new direction. And I'm privileged enough to have these heroes in my life. Because the person I am standing here today, in front of, beside that, it is these heroes. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, contest chair, and Madam Chief Judge. Today, I will be talking about the invisible heroes of my life. My first invisible hero, my younger brother. You might be thinking that what my younger brother can teach me. I mean, he's younger than me, and he certainly doesn't have as much as life experience as me. But let me tell you, age has nothing to do with life experiences. In fact, a fresh mindset not only helps you to learn, it also helps you to relearn. Remember about our childhood days? We would fight with our classmates and we would stop talking. But then we would patch up and we would laugh together again in a blink of an eye. But when we started growing up, things became serious. We started taking things so seriously, as if it's a serious threat to our self-esteem. But my younger brother helps me to learn. He helped me to learn how important it is to be childish. And not only that, he helped me to relearn how to be childish again. My second invisible hero, my English high school teacher. Though he was a teacher, but he would often tell himself as a student for life, a student of life. He would tell us that the whole world can be your school if you are intelligent enough to grasp the knowledge. Honestly, I forgot all the life lessons that he has, all the English literature lessons he has taught us, but that life lesson still stayed with me. And it is probably going to stay with me for the rest of my life, even though he's not with me, not in touch with me. In Toastmasters, there is a person called a mentor, a person who guides you through pathways, and he helps you to become a confident communicator and a better speaker and leader. In my life, this role has been played by our today's contest chair, Toastmaster Sheetal. He helped me to become a better communicator and leader. He would often tell me that, Debolina, you have great ideas. You just have to believe in yourself. These words not only motivated me, they inspired me to go the extra mile. He would never handhold me, but he would always give me a creative space where I can do my brainstorming. But whenever I started procrastinating, he would give me a gentle push and tell me to go forward instead of being stagnant. When I was about to take my current leadership role, that is being a VP head, he told me that I was being, a bit nervous and I was being a little self-doubt. But he told me that you should definitely go forward and grab this challenge. And his words literally helped me to be confident. All these invisible heroes that I have talked about today, some are with me, some are not. But in spite of their presence, their lessons are still with me, here and here. And it is probably going to be for the rest of my life. And I'm thankful from the bottom of my heart that I met these invisible heroes who doesn't wear capes, but they teach, They teach you life lessons. One day, I would like to be an invisible hero so that I can do the future invisible hero. Don't you want to be an invisible hero? Don't you want to get out of your comfort zone to make someone else's life comforting? Contest chair.
Please give a loud round of applause to our contest chair. Now it's time for our evaluators to start evaluating. Timer, please note the time for evaluation is 5 minutes. So you will show green card at 4:30, yellow card, and at 5 will require everyone to stop. Okay, is that clear to the timer?
Time limit for evaluation is 4 to 5 minutes.
No. Sheetal, 1 minute. Contestant, can the evaluators be moved to the breakout room? Then they can write over there. The timer also can be there and tell them when 5 minutes is up.
Okay. Anshu, please take them to the breakout room, and timer, with that time, once they are in breakout room, start counting this 5 minutes.
Okay.
Master and Anshu.
Toastmaster Shalu, just remind them when there is 30 seconds left, and then when the time is up. Okay. Everybody stop writing. Go to the breakout room. Go to the breakout room. You are supposed to write over there. Shalu, please join them.
Ma'am, do you have the right to go to?
Yeah, she went.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so contestant, we have a guest. We want to give the guest a table topic, something. We have Ajitesh also.
Yes.
Ma'am,
we can have humorous table topics still.
No, whatever. Just have a table topic. Go on,
Sure.
conduct one. You can call in Ajitesh and guest Raja. Yeah.
Yes. Ajitesh, would you like to take up table topics?
Yeah, as in like.
1 minute. Ananchu, you're supposed to be in this thing, no? Breakout room. Aren't you the facilitator?
I think someone needs to assign me to that room. I am not able to join there.
1 minute. Your name does not even appear. How come you're here?
Yes, because he is the host. No? You can yourself
Oh.
go to breakout room. You can yourself go. You don't need to be assigned. Anshu, you can yourself go to the breakout.
You have to keep a lookout and in the breakout room.
I'm joining the breakout room now.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go ahead and join the breakout. Because you're a host, one of the hosts, therefore that is reflected. Okay, Ajitesh, would you like to take up our table topic till then?
Yeah, I can do that.
Sure. I would give you a very simple topic. Ma'am, you would like to give a topic?
I'll go to the breakout room and just see how it is there.
Okay.
Assign someone to be the, or maybe to be the timer. Yeah.
Okay. Aritro, can you take up timer till then?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Ajitesh.
What are the timings, by the way?
The timing is 2 to 3 minutes, no?
For evaluation, 2 to 3 minutes.
Yes, for table topics, it is 1 to 2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes. Got it. Let me just put up my screen and stuff.
Just for just table topics, you have to be table. Yeah. We have a timer for the normal course.
Absolutely. I am. Let me share my screen. Is the PPT visible?
Yes, completely visible.
Okay, great.
Okay. Ajitesh, would you like to come on camera mode?
Yeah, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. So the topic for you is atomic changes bring great results.
Sorry. Can
Atomic,
you?
yes, atomic changes bring great results.
Okay. So thank you, Table Topic Master Sheetal. Atomic changes bring great results. A very profound statement. And I truly believe in that. It's the small steps that we take in our lives that makes big and great impacts to our life. Even when man first landed on moon, they said, a small step for human, a big step for mankind. So there is where it truly brings out the statement that how from there we made various discoveries and various inventions to land on moon, and not just on moon, to explore even Mars. In our everyday life, we go ahead and have different experiences and different observations. We all have learnings through our different phases of life. And through those learnings, we really don't need to ever take a drastic transformation, but it's those small steps or the small efforts that we make that together pile up and bring in big differences in our life. It makes us a more responsible, makes us a more responsive human being. It's drops and multiple drops which make up a big ocean. Similarly, small changes and small experiences and small improvements in our everyday life can bring us lots of differences. Even if you see for our, not only from our work, not only from our personal experiences, even with health, we can never experience anybody to bring a transformation overnight. It's the small efforts, disciplined efforts, and consistent efforts every day that we put in brings in changes in our lives. So I truly believe in the statement that atomic changes bring in large differences. Thank you, and over to you, David Topic Master.
Wonderful, wonderful attempt on that, and really loved your take. So all the things were very good. Ma'am, you would like to give in some evaluation?
Yeah. Toastmaster Ritesh, that was a wonderful take on the topic, and I love the way you speak with a lot of poise. Everything that you do it with poise, so everybody wants to listen to you. So you are someone very pleasant to listen to. Your take on the topic also very valid. Only one such, give one personal example how an atomic change had a huge impact or a change in your life. Yes, that is the only thing. If you can do that and give a message to the audience, like to take care of the small changes, not notice the small changes that are happening. Maybe it can lead you to something great. Something like that, please too, if you can take care, it'd be great.
I see timer Salu over here. Salu, why are you not in the?
Yeah, 5 minutes are over. 5 minutes are over there.
Okay.
Okay. So we have our first contestant, Toastmaster Abhijit, with his evaluation. Timer, please note the timing for the evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2, you have to show green card. At 2:30, yellow card, and 3, red card, and keep on flashing the red card till the speaker concludes. So it's time for Toastmaster Abhijit Bose to present his evaluation, please. Toastmaster Abhijit Bose, you would like to do audio visual check?
Yes. Am I audible, visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible. Please go ahead.
A very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest, and Toastmaster Debolina in particular. Your topic was pretty incredible, mentioning invisible heroes, where you first of all you give an example of fiction lover who is a Superman. I personally is a fan of Superman. So you also brought in some humor in that first points where you mentioned he never wore underwear. So that was a catch. And coming to the good points here, your voice clarity was incredible. Okay, like there was a good pitch, like a variation in the pitch. Whenever it was required, you went up. Whenever it was required, you went down. There was a good eye contact which you made with the audiences. So overall, it was good. So apart from those sweet words, we can always add some bitter words so that there will be good essence to the food. So coming to that particular recommendations which I want to give, and also I have learned as well, that whenever you are delivering the speech, like you were not covering the camera overall. Like it would have been better if you would have moved a bit towards left, right, like trying to portray the character properly. Okay, that was a small recommendation from my end. Rest everything was good. And yes, invisible heroes, you mentioned that few of your like family members, friends, they are the invisible heroes in your life. Not only you, for everybody, it is they are the invisible heroes. So in that context, you gave us some lesson, you portrayed the character. So overall, it was an excellent speech. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit, for that wonderful evaluation. Now it's time for our second evaluator. So I will ask Amrishji, I'll make you host. Can you go to the breakout room and ask
You
to send?
you can just send a message to the
Can I send message directly to the breakout room? I'll just do time for evaluator 2. Did it go, ma'am? I did a broadcast. I am not. You are not audible, ma'am.
It's there on top. See, from Sheetal Kumar to everyone. Time for evaluation.
Yes. Okay, we have 30 seconds for audio visual check. And meanwhile, Rima, you can refer to your notes as well. You can do audio visual check, please.
Hello. Toastmaster Sheetal, can I read it from the paper? I have to fold it and
yes. That's perfect. So audio visuals are good from your side. So it's time to start. Toastmaster Rima with your evaluation. Second evaluator, Toastmaster Rima. Das.
Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters, and particular to Toastmaster Debolina. First of all, your speech, that was Invisible Heroes. I really, really loved your speech. The way you started the opening part, when you asked us, the audience interaction, you were asking us. Then the humor part which you added about Superman, why they wear pants on over, why their pants not under it, why on top of it. That was really a part where I guess everyone laughed at it. The humor which you added, it was really good. Then there are three transition of your life, the three heroes in your life, which you showed in three different angles, which I can understand by your brother, your teacher, and Toastmaster Sheetal, how he guided you. I overall loved your speech, the way you have said, and I can go through it, how they have spent your life in a way that you have followed it, the way they have shown you the motivation line, because I also have a superhero in my life, so I can easily go through your speech, and even the last message which you wanted to give, that superheroes doesn't wear capes. So it is absolutely which I believe. Your speech overall I really love, but there is a slight improvement which I want to suggest that it will make your speech more better. That is your voice modulation, which I felt slightly a little low when you were saying that that when Toastmaster Sheetal was telling you that you can do it, where he was saying you that Debolana, you have great ideas. You can slightly say it in a different tone, because overall that time it was like a constant tone which you were using, which I felt. So that you can slightly you can manage. Then the second thing was, which I noticed, whenever some points which you were not getting, were looking up, or you're closing your eyes. It was getting distracted, because I've seen thrice you have done it, which I noticed. So it will be a little bit if you can control it, because whenever we evaluate, we can check what unusual things you're doing. So that three things you can avoid it. Overall, I loved your speech, the humor which you added, the transition, the message which you wanted to give, and also the choreography part, the three different sections, the three different heroes which you showed in your speech. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Sheetal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rima, for that wonderful evaluation. Now I'll broadcast message. Meanwhile, it is time for just do that. Okay, it's the third evaluator, Toastmaster Manisha, would be in the main room soon. Meanwhile, We are just waiting for her to come in. One problem is that I'm not able to locate the host. Who is the host? I'm seeing all the co-hosts. I am seeing all the...
I know, he's in the breakout.
Okay, that's why. So 30 seconds time for you, Manisha, to refer to your notes and also do the audio visual check. Timer, please note that. And then you have to start. Toastmaster Manisha. You are on mute. Please unmute yourself and do an audio visual check.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Are you good to go?
Yes.
So let's start. Toastmaster Manisha, with your evaluation, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, contest chair, and chief judge, and especially Toastmasters Debolina. What an imaginative topic you had, the invisible heroes. And I love the way how you transform the imagination into reality. Things which I liked most about your speech were how you started with a common fictional character with whom with whom you connected with the audience, and how then you transition to the real life heroes. So that was really something everyone could have connected with. Again, the drama you incorporated in your speech by using your hand gestures, like when you said that I don't know, or a gentle push, that was commendable. Again, you stood and delivered your speech, which was a icing on the cake. Also, you had your personal stories, like personal examples, like who were the real superheroes in your life, like your little brother, your English teacher, and your mentor. So that was good. Again, along with commendation, I have few recommendations for you. There were examples missing in your speech, like how the real heroes, the real superheroes, if you could have cited one example, say for your little brother, how he allowed you to learn and relearn how to be childish, and your mentor, probably how he helped you to become a communicator, good communicator, a live example could have helped us to connect more with your speech. That was missing out there. Also, towards the end, you mentioned that you have to, you mentioned the audience that they have to, they should also be a superheroes in someone's lives. So, how they should be the heroes? If you could have communicated that to them, like, you know, identifying the strengths and what they are good at, they should be, how they can be the superheroes. The drama you had incorporated was very nice. Also, the quotes which you have used, real heroes does not wear capes, age has nothing to do with life experience. So these were great. So all in all, the drama, opening, and delivery was great. Adding a little bit of examples and ideas given to the audience could have made your speech from a great to a spectacular speech. Thank you.
Wonderful speech, Toastmaster Manisha. Now it's time for our evaluator 4 to come in, Toastmaster Kshitij. Meanwhile, I do, Amrishi, can you help me with whether he's there or not? I'm not able to see. Yes, we have the 4th contestant, Toastmaster Kshitij, with us. Timer 30 seconds for him to refer to his notes and do audio visual check, please.
Yes, am I correctly audible and visible?
Yes, you are correctly audible and visible. Okay. You can start.
Good evening, contest chair, respected judge, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Toastmaster Debolina. At first, thank you for being here and sharing your awesome speech with us. So you started with a question, ended with a question, and all your basic content was between these two. I liked it. You followed the stand and deliver convention. You used personal examples, including your brother, your English high school teacher, and then you had efficient hand gestures, proper eye contact while delivering the speech. So kudos for that. All in all, you also played with words like student with life, student for life. And you also gave a strong yet subtle message that real heroes indeed do not wear capes. Now, let's talk about some basic points of recommendations that will help you take your speech on another level. The first one being pauses between sentences and phrases. See, you were interacting with the audience. You were asking us questions whether we like fiction and all. So give us some time, give the audience some time to grasp it, to endeavor with it. The second thing being the center alignment. Like you were standing, you had your fair share of hand gestures, everything, but the alignment of your body was a little like not completely aligned in the center. So remember that while you are speaking, you are the limelight. You are not in the limelight, you are the limelight. Keep it in mind. The third, the last but not the least thing is that better management of time. Like you started very beautifully, but had a little abrupt conclusion. Some time was left in the ending, and you could have used it in a better way. So overall, you started with a question, talked about your life, you gave personal examples, gave a message that real heroes do not wear capes, explained it beautifully, and ended with a serene conclusion. So all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chitis, for that wonderful evaluation. Now it's just give me a sec. It was wonderful evaluation. Now it's time for our contestant number 5. Amrishji, can you just check whether he's in? I broadcast message. Toastmaster Shraddha is in or not? Yes. Yes. Timer, please time 30 seconds for her to refer to notes and do audio visual check, please. Shraddha, you would like to do audio visual check?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes. Timer, please flash red card at the end of 30 seconds and then she has to start. Okay, we are done, Shraddha. It's time to start. Contestant number 5, Toastmaster Shraddha, with her evaluations, please.
How many of you are a fiction lover? I know I am, and I know most of you all are. So kudos to our speaker, Toastmaster Debolina Dhar, for starting with a great question, which is relatable to each one of us. She also tried to bring in humor at the start, where she shared Superman never wears underwears under his pants. Great way again to start her speech. The way she improvised on the story, it was just like a storytelling when she started with her younger brother being the hero and the school teacher. After that, the third invisible hero being the mentor. Love the way the storytelling improvised, and also she had a lot of learnings to give to all of us, starting from younger brother teaching us all how to learn and relearn. Next, high school teacher, where the teacher said the whole world could be a school. Third, with the mentor who believed in her and asked her to go extra miles, where we all had our own share of learnings in from her personal storytelling. Not to forget, at the ending, she had a great call to action where she does want to be an invisible hero to someone, comforting someone for her or his life. She also urges all the listeners there to become one invisible hero to someone and make somebody's life more comfortable. Of course, a lovely speech, and there's always a few potential for the speech to become a better speech, right? So, Toastmasters Devolina, for you, a few recommendations that I have was when you shared your stories, the first younger brother and the high school teacher and mentor, you did tell us the general impact of them in your life, but I would have loved to hear some specific incidences which which could have made it more inspiring for all of us. She could have also used props, as a matter of fact, for the younger brother. Of course, for a younger brother, you could have used a cap or something. For a school teacher, you could have a stick or maybe, and then Sheetal, you know how your mentor looks. You could have used something. So a usage of prop would have made the whole speech more inspiring and more relatable for all of us. Definitely, all in all, I love the speech. We all had a lot of takeaways. Starting with the question and the humor was a great take to the speech. Sharing your personal story where we had all the learnings for in our lives. And thirdly, the call to action where we all can learn from your story and try to become one of the invisible heroes. Also love, also a few more points for the recommendations were some props uses and some incident sharing. That's all from my side. Over to you.
Wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Shraddha. Now it's time for us to bring in Evaluator 6 to the room. Toastmaster Ayush. Amriji, can you help me? Ayush is here. Okay, timer, please note it's time for 30 seconds for Ayush to do an audio-visual check and refer to his notes. Ayush, would you like to do an audio-visual check?
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Just the upper part of your head. Okay, that's also fine. Perfect. Now. Okay. When you want to start, Salu, please timer, please show red card at the end of 30 seconds, or you can start. Yes.
Yeah. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guest. What a wonderful, inspirational, and motivational speech it was. It was so well delivered. In fact, you hooked me at the start with your title. I was pondering what could it be? Who could be the invisible hero? And then you mentioned Superman. And again, I was wondering, okay, is Superman the real hero? And then little by little and taking your time, you brought the person who's actually the invisible hero. So I was hooked throughout the initial minutes of the speech. And that is really commendable from your end. Second, your voice modulation. In all, Superman in underpants, with a pause and with a huge pitch. I was there, I was imagining. In fact, you had good body posture as well. You were not just painting with words at that time, you were painting with the postures as well. And I loved it, and I was there with you. And third was your humor. You mentioned the underwear part. So I was also laughing at the same time. And all of it I was totally like, what will come next, and how would you start from there onwards with the invisible hero? Thereafter, you mentioned real life examples of your younger brother and your teacher. And it is all relatable to all of us, knowing the audience knows all the Toastmaster, and your mentor turned out to be Toastmaster Sheep. And so we will all over there thinking, okay, what's next? So these are the recommendations of your speech. Now, I would like to highlight some recommendations for you. Number one would be when you gave your example for your brother, you just transition to your friends, and then again you transition to your brother, and you mentioned that I learned from him how to unlearn and how to learn. I was confused there because there was no such examples. How did you unlearn? At what point your brother made you unlearn things? So why it is required, because the audience for the audience, there's no point to think like what happened. So I felt disconnected with that. Number two, at the end of your speech, when you mentioned, do you want to be a hero? Do you want to come out of your comfort zone? You could have just told that, do you want to be a hero? Do you want to be a hero? And at that point of time, I would, in the audience, if I was in the audience, I would say, oh yeah, I want. So you could have given a chance to the audience to say yes, and the audience would be back with on the speech, because sometimes we get lost in between. So you could have used that time, and it would have helped you. Otherwise, to summarize, you were really good with posture. You were really good with transitions of your transitions. You were really good with the voice modulation. You need to work on your speech about the examples and the presence and interaction with the audience. Thank you, contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayanshu, for that wonderful evaluation. Now it's time for our contestant number 7, Toastmaster Sumit, to step in. Amrish, can you help me whether he is there or not? Yes, we have contestant number 7. Timer, please note it is time, 30 seconds time for him to do audio-visual check and refer to his notes. Toastmaster Sumit, your time starts now. Would you like to do an audio-visual check?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, a bit hazy with your videos, but yes, audible completely.
Fine, thank you. Great, I am ready to start.
Okay, go ahead.
All of us start at 0 until we do things that makes us 0. Good evening, everyone. Today, by the speech of Debolina, I realized that what heroes truly mean in our world. Her speech justified not only the title, but also gives us so many lessons. Today, I will be sharing my personal feedback about how I thought of her speech. So here are the few commendations of her speech that I love the most. Number 1, her speech justified the title, The Invisible Heroes. She talked about the 3 heroes of her life: her younger brother, her school teacher, and her Toastmaster mentor. And all these 3 people gave her the lessons and lessons that will remain with her till her death. Another thing that I loved the most in her speech was her expressions. Like when she was talking about Superman, she actually tried to show us what actually she felt. When she said about Superman that my mom never taught me that, I can truly see the expression in her face of confusion that what a Superman will feel. And last, that I love the most is that her speech was full of lessons. Age has nothing to do with the life lessons. Whole world can be your school. Go forward and grab the opportunity, and many more. Her speech was full of life lessons, which can be learnings for all of us here in the audience. But there are always a room for improvement. And so here are my personal suggestions that she can apply to her speech to make her speech go to another level. Number 1 is the hand gesture. Most of the time in her speech, her right hand was like this, and it was not going anywhere. So just to give her a suggestion that whenever you are speaking about 2 or more things, try to use both the hands and not just one. Like you can say 1, 2. And another thing is that I would like her to implement in her speech is voice modulation. Like throughout the speech, her voice was on a higher tone, like she was very happy. But there was an instance when she talked about how things got serious when she and her younger brother started growing up. So instead of going on a higher tone, her tone should have been lower. In summary, if I would like to conclude her speech, I would say her speech justified the title, good expressions, and wonderful life lessons. With a bit improvement on hand gestures and a modulation, she can take that speech to a whole new level. Well, That's it from my side, and back to you, the contest chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit, for that wonderful evaluation. Now it's time for our contestant number 8 to step in. Amrishji, is she here? Toastmaster Silpa. Did my Madam Chief Judge, did my broadcast message go or did it not go?
I didn't see it. I don't see
Still
it
not?
when.
It has not come.
No.
Technical glitches. I'm not good with technology at all, but still, that's how life is. Small changes are going to make huge impacts in our life. Till the time we wait for our contestant number 8, Toastmaster Silpa, to step in. Yes, she is here, I think. Yes. Timer, please note it's time of 30 seconds for Silpa to refer to her notes and do an audio-visual check. Please show a red card at the end of 30 seconds so that she can start. Silpa, would you like to do audio-visual check?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Would you like to start or would you like to wait for 30 seconds?
Oh, I'll like to wait for 30 seconds.
Okay. Timer, please show red card at the end of 30 seconds. Okay, it's time to start, Toastmaster Silpa.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Dear guests, if there any, and Toastmaster Debolina in particular. Listening to your speech was a pleasure to us today. And you were right about the real heroes, and you proved yourself to be as one of the heroes by giving us such a motivational speech. What I liked the most about your speech was when you started your speech by asking a question about fiction. And when no one replied, you asked everyone, come on, raise your hand. That was the point when we immediately you grabbed our attention. We started looking at you and raised our hands by leaving the writing thing that we were doing at that point of time. The second thing that I liked the most about your speech was your hand gestures. You have your hand gestures perfect according to all the all the things that you were speaking in your speech. Your hand gestures were matching to all your points. The third point that I really liked about your speech was the stage choreography. The way you used your stage as explaining the three real heroes in your life, it was amazing. So, what is the even if better thing in your speech? Even though your speech was a mesmerizing one, but there are few points that I would like to see more in your speech. The first point, when you started your speech and you mentioned us to avoid the background music, the background sound that was there in your speech. You didn't need to do that. You could just start your speech from the immediate action or when you unmuted yourself or when you were called upon the stage. The second thing that you could work upon is the tone of your voice. Throughout your speech, your voice tone was high. I would really like to see if you could lower your voice at few points, like when you were saying, even though he is not without me. You could do some voice tone up or down in your speech. The third recommendation that I would like to give you is when you are talking about Toastmaster Sheetal, you could mimic him. When you will mimic him, it gives everyone a clear image in the a clear picture in our imagination that okay, Toastmaster Sheetal is telling Toastmaster Debolina that Debolina, you can do this. Overall, your speech was amazing. very inspirational and motivational, with great hand gestures, with good stage usages, and with the best connection that you had with Superman clothes to the real heroes. What you can work upon is your voice tone, your voice modulation by mimicking Toastmaster Sheetal or any other character you have in your speech, and avoid telling the audience to avoid your background or your camera. Overall, it was a great speech, Toastmaster Debulina, and I would really like to hear you again and again. What do you think, Contest Chair?
Thank you, Toastmaster Silpa, and I really do think this on the same lines. Now it's time for us to call upon the last contestant. I have made the broadcast message. That is that visible to everyone? Okay, so we have the contestant and Ananshu back. Okay. Toastmaster Anurag. Toastmaster Anurag, contestant number 10. Timer, it's Anurag. I'm not able to see you.
Can you see me now?
Yes, I can. Just a sec. Timer, 30 seconds for Anurag to refer to his notes and do audio-visual check. Would you like to do audio-visual check, Anurag?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Would you like to wait for 30 seconds or start?
Let's start.
Yes, okay. Let's start then. Contestant number 10, Toastmaster Anurag Jain.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. What a wonderful speech delivered by Toastmaster Devolina. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that I loved about Toastmaster Devolina's speech is the humor that she had in the speech. For example, when she said that, have you ever wondered why the Superman is wearing its underwear outside rather than inside? Second is the hand gestures with which she delivered her speech. For example, the way she said whether Superman was even considering it or not, with such a whiff of ignorance, that shows the confidence that she had in her. The third thing that I loved about her speech was the content of her speech, was the way the content was organized. For example, she had an opening with a generic example with which each and every one of us could relate to. Then she had three specific examples relating to her life. Last, she had a conclusion with a message that we all should aspire to be that invisible hero in someone else's life. However, Toastmaster Devolina, I have few recommendations for you as well. The first is that I felt that you were a bit at unease while delivering your speech throughout. I felt that you were not that confident, and I think that you should rehearse a bit more before coming onto the stage so that this lack of confidence could have been overcome. The second recommendation that I have for you is regarding the content of your speech. For example, when you were telling the examples of what you were learning from your brother or your teacher, you didn't give any specifics as to what you actually learned. For example, when you were talking about Toastmaster Sheetal, you said that when you were demotivated to deliver your speech, Toastmaster Sheetal motivated you. When you were in dilemma whether to take up the post of VP education, he cajoled you. So these specific examples were missing in your first and second examples. You could put some more specifics into it instead of just general platitudes. The third thing is that in the beginning you mentioned something about Superman. Now that did captivate the audience, but I felt that it was a bit unnecessary. Either you could have avoided it or you could have connected it in the end so that there is a whole picture of it. So in summation, I would say I really like the humor in your speeches, the hand gestures that you had, the structure was on point. However, if you could rehearse a bit more before delivering, that would remove the uneasiness that you had with the stage. Next, if you could improve the content, giving specific examples, and if you could correct the story from your introduction to the conclusion, that will give a whole some picture to your speech. That's it from my side. Thank you, and over to you, Contest.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anurag, for that wonderful evaluation. So we are done with all the evaluations. So it's time for us to hear nice evaluations from the chief judge herself before we come to the conclusion of the mock evaluation. It's time for us to hear the wise words of our chief judge. So please welcome onto the stage someone who is a distinguished person for the first time for me when I am calling her a distinguished Toastmaster. So it's lovely for me, but I can tell you she is a gem in all aspects of her life, be it personal, professional, and social. You cannot find a more glittering gem. I have not been encountered to one. And that is something that makes her special. The warmth she brings to the life of us, to all the VirtuoMasters I know. So it's really endearing for me to welcome onto the stage our not so strict chief judge to the podium. Please give her a loud round of applause because it's really huge to be patient for 10 evaluations, I understand. So please give her a loud round of applause. Please unmute yourself and please give a loud round of applause to her.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Contest Chair. You have done a wonderful job indeed, and you have always been there when the club needs you. So thank you for that. Before I start my evaluation, I would like the timer report, please. Toastmaster Shalu, can we have the timer report from you? You're muted, Shalu. Shalu, unmuted.
For speaker took 6 minutes 10 seconds, and evaluators, contestant number 1, Toastmaster Abhijit Bose, 1 minute 47 seconds. Contestant number 2, Toastmaster Reema Das, 2 minutes 26 seconds. Toastmaster Manisha, 2 minutes 36 seconds. Toastmaster Kshitish, 2 minutes 5 seconds. Toastmaster Shraddha, 3 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Ayush, 3 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Sumit, 3 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster Shilpa, 3 minutes 18 seconds. And Toastmaster Anurag, 3 minutes 10 seconds. All the evaluators were within time, so all are eligible for voting. Oh,
Thank
sorry,
you.
voting for results.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shalu. Please give her a big round of applause. She did not have an easy job. She had to keep a strict note on the time, and she done a wonderful job indeed. Since this is a mock contest, usually in the contest, you will not get to know how long you have spoken. But since it's a mock contest, we need to be aware about how much we spoke. And since it's a mock contest, we also have the grammarian with us. Who will give his grammarian report now? Toastmaster Arithro, are you ready with your report? Is Toastmaster Arithro, do we have you? Okay, we will go to his report later. I will start with thanking our target speaker, Toastmaster Debolina. Toastmaster Debolina, thank you so much for coming here to our session and sharing your wonderful speech with us. It did give an opportunity to all our contestants, many of them new Toastmasters, to practice the evaluation skill. So thank you for that. A big round of applause to Toastmaster Debolina. Now straight away to the first speaker, Toastmaster Abhijit Bose. Toastmaster Abhijit Bose is a brand new Toastmaster. The Toastmaster Abhijit, you had a fantastic opening. See, evaluation speech is a speech, so opening, body, and conclusion is needed. Toastmaster Abhijit, you had a good opening. You gave 3 commendations about humor, voice clarity, and eye contact with the audience. Only thing you said audience. When we are giving evaluation, it is our personal view. So it is best if you say you give fantastic eye contact, so I could connect with you, not the audience could connect with you. It is all from your perspective, so don't use we or the audience. We need to say I. Your transition, sweet with bitter, you can use a better transition. Don't use the bitter word because we try not to be bitter, right? We try to be as sugar coated as possible. So don't use the word bitter. Try to be use some other adjectives maybe. You could come out with one recommendation. If this is your first time, you have never evaluated a speech before, I am sure as you go on in your Toastmasters journey, go to other clubs also and take up evaluation roles. So you can be a little more critical of the speech. You said not covering the camera. I understood what you meant. You meant that she was not covering the stage, right? That is what you meant. Yeah, that is what you meant. She did not cover the whole stage. That is your point. Toastmasters, whatever you said, that was your perspective, and it is very, very acceptable to everybody. Only thing, as a contestant in an evaluation speech contest, you need to give a summary which was missing from your evaluation speech. Okay, Toastmaster Abhijit, please keep in mind that you need to give a summary. Your transition has to be more soft with better adjectives, softer adjectives, and try to give at least 2 to 3 recommendations, and please give a summary. That is my feedback to you, Toastmaster Abhijit. Otherwise, let's give him a big round of applause. First evaluation and then in the mock contest. Superb. Second speaker, Toastmaster Rima Das. Toastmaster Rima Das had 3 commendations and 2 recommendations. Toastmaster Rima, you had a good opening also. You talked about, you had a very encouraging opening. One thing we need to remember, we are contestants. So we have to acknowledge the contest chair. All of us, many of you all missed it. So please remember when you're on evaluation, you're doing an evaluation contest speech, you need to acknowledge, whether you acknowledge the fellow Toastmasters, guests or judges or not, you need to acknowledge the contest chair. That is very important. You can, and of course the speaker, okay? So you said the commendations, the opening was good with audience interaction, you like the humor, you like the 3 heroes and the 3 different parts that she did. Superb. Your transition was good, Rima. Voice, your recommendation was voice modulation, change tone. Or Sheetal, yes, understood. Looking up, looking down. The second recommendation was the speaker was looking up and looking down, looking confused maybe. You need to say when she was doing that and how she can, where exactly, so that she can take note of that and become aware that she will not do it in the future. Okay, so when you give a recommendation, you have to pinpoint exactly where she has to incorporate the recommendation you're giving. In your summary, you had just the commendations and you had a new commendation about the message. Please do not include any new points in the summary. Even if you've left out a very, very important point when you're giving your recommendation, don't bring it in the summary. Okay, and your summary needs to have all the commendations and all the recommendations. You missed out the recommendations. Okay, Toastmaster Rima, please keep in mind a new evaluator indeed. This was also the first time you've evaluated a speech. So kudos to you, very well done. And another thing, Toastmaster Rima, is don't need to repeat parts of the speech. We were all there, we have listened also. So just say what you liked and what could have been better. Okay. Now to the third speaker, Toastmaster Manisha. A very, very good beginning. Very transforming imagination into reality. Very imaginative topic. Toastmaster Manisha, you are good, really good. I'm sure you're going to give everyone a run during the contest. You had 3 commendations, how the fiction to real was done, the real to real, the drama, how she used drama, and she stood and developed. Oh, you had 4 recommendations. You had 4 commendations, how she stood and delivered, and she gave personal examples. 4 commendations, that is very good. In fact, that is something I also would like to start giving. I usually give 3 and I have been advised also to give 4. So 4 commendation is superb. Transition was on point, very good. The 2 recommendations, gave only 2 recommendations. One was how the real heroes allowed you to learn, and how the hero, the message to the public, how to do it. Your two recommendations, Manisha, even though you gave two, really stood out because both of them were related to content, and that always has more value than if you give recommendation about delivery. So both your points were very, very on point, your recommendation, and it was about content. Very pertinent questions that you asked, how do we do those things? In back to comment on. Yeah, again, one thing you did was you gave commendation, you gave recommendation. Again, you went back to a point of commendations. Don't do that. You've finished, you've forgotten a point, leave it, let it be. It's over, okay? Don't go back to that because it confuses the judges. And in the summary, you did a fantastic job. You ended very high on a motivating note. So a big round of applause to Toastmaster Manisha, and watch out for her in the contest. Next speaker, Kshitij. Toastmaster Kshitij, your voice is so attractive, Kshitij, on the mic. It's a pleasure to listen to. You had a fantastic start. The opening of your evaluation speech was very good. But when you said that the speaker started with a question, ended with a question, it was a standout opening. Your opening was a standout from all the others. Right? It was different. So it was very good. Your commendations were, of course, that, and then stood up and delivered, played with words. You said she played with words. How real to real, strong message. You get 2, 3, personal example. You get 4, great hand gestures. You get 5 commendations. Eye contact, 5 commendations. Awesome. Transitions were very good. Your recommendations, you get 3 pauses, about pauses, center alignment. Okay, when you spoke about center alignment, Toastmaster Sumit, all the time I'm entering you and you're leaving the room and I'm admitting you into the room. Stay inside. Okay, Toastmaster Kshitij. When you were talking about center alignment, you're talking about somebody not using the stage properly. You yourself are sitting. So remember, if you're going to give a commendation, you should be in a position to give the commendation. If you're going to give a recommendation, you should be in the position to give the recommendation. You should be able to stand and demonstrate how it could have been done. Okay. So otherwise, leave the recommendation out. Don't use it because the judges are going to judge you. I know you are not speaking that. No, you're not. You're just saying something, but you're not able to show it. Better management of time, abrupt ending. That was your third recommendation. That is good. But how? What else you could have included? You could have told that. Okay. You just said it could have. The conclusion could have been better, right? How she could have concluded, what she needed to include in the conclusion to make it better. You need to say that because recommendation is always what, how, and why. What can be better, why it needs to be better, and how it can be better. These are the 3 things in recommendation. When we do the recommendation, you did not include the recommendation in the summary. You just told about the commendation. Yes, you need to remember that. You had time. You entered on green. You had time. So you could have expanded on your points and included the recommendation. Okay. That's for you, Toastmaster Kshitij. Again, a Toastmaster who is doing it for the first time. Very well done, Kshitij. Toastmaster Shraddha. Now, this is another person who will give everyone a good run for the money in the contest. Shraddha, I love the way you started, but only thing you have to acknowledge the contest chair. Okay. Your commendations were audience interaction, humor, and storytelling, the 3 mentors, and the shared lessons, and the call to action. Okay, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commendations. Very good. But over here, when you are giving your commendation, you keep it short. You are repeating too much of the speech. We just heard the speech, so don't repeat the speech again. No, you spoke about your brother and your brother's friend and everything. No need to go into all that. Just give it in short. So you save time to expand on your recommendations, which has got more points. Okay, your transition was very good. Your recommendation was specific incidents, which was missing. Props. I like the way you said cap. Teacher stick. Oh my God. Okay, fine. Teachers associated with stick. And the action, call to action. Okay. your ending, somebody was perfect. You give all the recommendation, but you can end on a more motivating note. If you include all this, however, if you have these awesome points. If you include this, you will be an awesome speaker, spectacular speaker, or whatever. You'll wow the audience. Something you need to end on a high. Okay, Shraddha? So that was the feedback for you. Very good. Very well done, Shraddha. You are an awesome evaluator. Another new Toastmaster Ayush. The first time he is done it too. Where is Toastmaster Ayush? Yes, Toastmaster Ayush. Good opening. You're hooked up with the title. Okay, you were hooked with the title. Your commendation was hooked with the title, voice modulation, good posture with painting and humor, real life experiences, very relatable. Over there, when you were giving about the real life experiences and being very relatable experiences, again, you went into we. We could all connect with you and all that. Stick to I. Because right in the beginning, I want to share a few points that I specifically liked about your speech. Now, when you said I, you should not be going to be at all, right? So transition can be a little better, maybe a little more motivating. It was very, a bit to the point. Use about 10 seconds at least to give a more motivating transition. Your recommendations were 2. Transitions from brother to friend and all that. Give example how and when it happened. Okay, how and when you learned that lesson. Again, you said audience, so that the audience could understand more. You should say I would have been able to flow with you when you were sharing your story, right? The second one is conclusion. Repeat the question. I liked the conclusion that the recommendation about the conclusion that you could have repeated the question, so you would have been prompted to answer. Transition. Ending is motivating. You need to end also. Summarize. You did the summary well, commendation and recommendation, but again, motivate and end on a high note so that the speaker feels good, right? So you need to give that motivating conclusion to your summary. That's for you, Toastmaster Ayush. You are a new Toastmaster and you did very well. I'm so proud of all of you. Now to the next Toastmaster, Toastmaster Sumit. Okay, Toastmaster Sumit, right away, you need to do something about your internet connection because you were dropping off from the breakout room, entering the main room. Actually, you will not be allowed to contest if you enter the main room when the contestant is speaking. Okay, so please take care of that. You had entered when the previous speaker was speaking. So then you immediately left, of course, but in a contest, it will not be possible. So Toastmaster Sumit. I loved your opening. He had a standout opening also. All of us start at 0 till we do things that make us a hero. Toastmaster Sumit, I want to applaud you on that. Superb, superb. Your commendation title was justified. Good commendation. Expressions and full of lessons. The whole speech was full of lessons. Okay. When you were talking about this commendation, the full of lessons, you mentioned 2 of the lessons and then you said many more. Now don't say many more. Many more is like etc. How we used to use in school when we forgot some other points, etc. Don't use many more. 2 is enough. You've given 2, stop at that. If you can't remember anything, don't say many more. Okay. Transition was good. You get 2 recommendations about hand gestures and voice modulation. It was all the time in a higher note. Very good this thing. Very good explanation of how it could be done better, why it should be done better. Toastmaster Sumit, a very good job, but you were going really to the red for pulling it to the last. But great job, great summary, perfect job on that. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Sumit. Next, Toastmaster Shilpa need to acknowledge the contest chair. Yes, Toastmaster Shilpa, acknowledge the contest chair. Toastmaster Shilpa, what I liked about you was you had a very, very beautiful, motivating opening. You started in a manner that even though I'm sure the speaker would say it was a pleasure to listen to you. So, and you sounded confident. This was one of the things that was missing previously. Now you're sounding confident as you're saying. Opening with audience interaction and the prompting. And again, over here, you said we, not we, I. Okay, and I would have responded. Second commendation was hand gestures, which was perfect. Third was stage choreography. All your commendations were on point. Your transition was very good, Shilpa, very well done. You gave 3 commendations. 3 commendations could have avoided. This was one thing all the other speakers missed. And I was wondering, how come nobody's mentioning that disturbance, sound disturbance that the speaker started with? The speaker was introduced. She should have started with a speech. And you mentioned one of the recommendations that it could have been avoided. Very good point, Toastmaster Shilpa. This will make the evaluation stand out from the others. There are 10 contestants. We need to do something that will make our speech stand out. And this would have made it stand out. Second was the voice note. And third was mimic, Sheetal. You actually meant voice modulation when mentioning. Yes, I understood, but you used the word mimic. And I was wondering why in a speech you needed to mimic. Very good. But your summary, very good. Perfect. Only thing is when you're handing over, no need to ask. It's not a table topic session when you say, what do you think about it, contestant? No, just go hand over. Over to you, contestant. Okay. You will save on time too because you were very close when you read. So over to you, contestant. No need to say, what do you think about that, contestant? No need for that. Okay. Big round of applause to Toastmaster Shilpa. Great job. Now, Toastmaster Anurag. This Toastmaster Anurag, last and final speaker. Toastmaster Anurag, you. Where are you? Yes, Toastmaster Anurag. You gave a very good evaluation speech. However, you forgot to acknowledge the contest chair, and you forgot an opening. Now, evaluation speech, like I said, needs an opening where we just generally praise the speaker or thank the speaker. When we say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever, acknowledge the contest chair and then go. You straight away went into your evaluation, what I liked about your speech. And you get 3 commendations: humor, hand gestures, content, structure, obesity. Okay. Get 3 commendations. Transition was good. Could have been more motivating by saying that if you incorporate a few points of recommendation that I give, it will take your speech to the next level. Fun line. Okay. You can give a motivating transition. You gave 3 recommendations. One was she was uneasy. Good observation, Toastmaster Anurag. This was different from everybody else. Content. Okay, now, Toastmaster Anurag, I want you to be very careful. In the commendation, you started with content, then went on to structure. Again, in the recommendation, if you say content, now the judges are going to think you're saying content over there and content over here also. The content was what you actually learned. You win the life lessons, right? Examples, personal examples. So you have to say structure over there and content over here. Okay. And the third point of recommendation also could have been worded differently, which you did it right in the end in the summary. When you were giving the recommendation, you were saying the Superman was the example about the Superman. You started with Superman, which was not very necessary. You could have included it in the end. But in the summary, you said it could have been the 360 degrees by bringing it back into the speech, the Superman example. So that is what you need to, when you're giving your recommendation, you need to say it in a way that is neat and the speaker understands. Okay. Your summary, of course, a little more motivating. Can't use the rotor. Okay. The summary could have been a little more motivating. Otherwise, you've mentioned all the commendations and recommendations. So big round of applause to Toastmaster Anurag Jain for the final speaker. So we are done for today. The mock evaluation, this thing. I hope all of you were able to take valuable points home. Remember all these points. Go to other clubs. Take up evaluation roles. It will really help you with the evaluation contest. District 40, I am a member of District 41 Precedence. If you want to take up evaluation roles, people keep asking for that. I will reach out to you all. You have to just tell me that you're ready for it. Okay? Keep practicing. Now, Toastmaster Amrish was there throughout, but he joined late, so he could not be take part in the evaluation mock contest. Toastmaster Amrish, I'm sorry we could not include you. We have Toastmaster Shaurya here. Toastmaster Shaurya, thank you for joining us. Toastmaster Krish joined a little late. So, Toastmaster Krish, is there anything you would like to share with us?
No, I heard a few of the evaluations towards the end, and I'm really happy that we held this mock contest. And more than anything, please have some water. You have done some fantastic evaluations for these evaluators. Beautiful learnings for all of us to take back. I'm really happy that you spent time doing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Krish. We also have a guest with us who's been there with us from the beginning. Guest Raja. We'd like to hear a few words from you, please, about about your experience today with us. Yes, Raja.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Is it audible?
Yes, you are.
Actually, I am a fresher actually. I have completed my BBA graduation course recently, and due to the COVID pandemic, I'm not being able to get my certificates. So I've applied in many companies. So I've given interviews. I applied in Byju's. So Byju's interviews, there were virtual interviews in Byju's. So I had, they asked me a question that in Ladakh, why a person would buy a AC and how would you convince him? So this was a question. So I started thinking what to answer. So then I asked him, then I said, ki, AC is not just air cooler, it's also a temperature control machine. So he was glad and he was impressed. Then the second question was more critical. Why would a Mercedes-Benz user buy a Nano? So I started thinking why a Mercedes-Benz user would buy a Nano. Then I started framing. I started saying ki since Mercedes is a luxury car, expensive car, you cannot take it to the markets or to the in nearby shops or somewhere else and all. So it would be a problem of parking or would be scratches or something like that. So if Nano would be there, Nano would be easily fit in parking, and it will be easy for you in the rush, the Indian population, which is so much high, and the traffic. It will be easier for you to move faster.
Good answer. Good answer.
So he was pleased, and I cleared the interview. So that's all.
Do keep joining us. We have many such questions in the table topic session. You will enjoy the part. Look at you
Thank
just laughing. Thank you for joining us. I guess.
Yeah.
Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Shaurya, you're here with us. So we hear a few words from you.
I am here, but what do you want to say?
I have no clue. Whatever you want to share with us, it's up to you.
I would have been here from the very get-go, but then I had a role in another meeting, so I finished that and I joined in as much earlier as I could. So it's always great to see mock evaluation contests happening in certain clubs. I think it's a great learning experience, and I'm sure that all the participants who stepped in and who stepped up rather, I'm sure they have something to get home to, something to take home to, and I'm sure that this practice will make them richer in the upcoming evaluation contest. All the best for that. And regarding a certain point which Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Pandey just mentioned, if you ever want to take up evaluations outside clubs, you can also let me know. I can answer at least within division R, and I'm looking forward to have many requests. That's it. All the best and more power to all of you.
That's great. That's great. So now you know who you have to reach out to, whether if you want to practice your evaluation skills. I would have loved to take the grammarian report from Toastmaster Arithro. I guess he knew I was coming to him, so he ran. He ran from the meeting. We will take the grammarian report from him later. Before I end the session today, I would like to hand over the virtual podium to Toastmaster Debolina, who wants to share something with us.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Panna. Well, it's this occasion I would like to invite you all, like as I have mentioned, that Sunday is our meeting time and CJ team is having its 300 meeting. So it will be a great pleasure having you all. We are having our meeting virtually as well as physically. So please do join. It will be very pleasure for us to having you all and meeting you all. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me here. I mean, it is a great pleasure always coming to VMC. I mean, the whole environment is so friendly and so family-like. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Debolina. Can you give, is there any fun games or events in a 300th event that we can look forward to? Yes?
Yes, there is.
That's great, that's great. So yes, we have an invitation from Toastmaster Debolina for the CGTM 300 session. And also, please remember, this judges training tomorrow. As many of you who can attend the judges training, please do attend, okay? Because it is really very beneficial to us, not only as contestants, but also as speakers, because we learn what is those things that a person looks forward to. Oh, there is a judges training today also. Krish, what is the timing? Can you put, if possible, put the link in the chat box? Okay, so with a final, okay, I would like to first thank Ajitesh for being here throughout the session, even though he did not have a role, but he got to speak on a table topic, so that was good. And before I end the session with a bang, I would like to once again thank Toastmaster Debolina for coming here as the first speaker and enabling us to have our mock evaluation contest. Let's all give her a big round of applause. And a bigger round of applause to Toastmaster Sheetal for being the great contest chair. And to Toastmaster Ajitesh, you all should listen to the recording to hear his speech. It was wonderfully done indeed. Best of luck, everyone. All of you were very good. And I'm going to take part in the evaluation contest, so I'm also taking back tips from all of you. Isha, Krishnesh has joined us, Sheetal Kumar. Just imagine. I end the meeting now with a bang.
Stop the recording.
Stop the